I hit it?
Do you know what this is?
All right, in 3, 2, 1. Ladies, we're live.
Hi everyone, welcome to our Tuesday tutorial. My name is Natalie. I'm with Bésame Cosmetics. This is our beautiful model, Natalie, as well. And we have some special guests in the audience that I'd like to introduce you to.
Yay.
Oh, they will introduce themselves. Go for it.
Hi, I'm Amber. I'm going to be taking your questions, and much more special than me is Gabriela Hernandez.
Hello.
She's the founder of Bésame and ever so much more special than I.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. And if you have any questions, feel free to jump in at any time while we do this, and we'll get started.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, guys, so today we're going to be talking all about winged liner. So what I'm going to be using today will actually be the black Cake Mascara. And I'll just be doing a regular straight wing. But always remember as well, if you're subscribed to our channel, we actually have some great tutorial videos on there that will walk you through how much water you use, what brushes you can use, and different techniques as well. So we'll start with our black Cake Mascara, which also does come in purple and it comes in brown. So feel free to play around with some colors.
And if you have any questions about how to use Cake Mascara or anything like that, we just did a whole bunch of video tutorials. So you can find those also on our YouTube page, not right now, later, but at any time you want. It'll tell you how much water to use and all that kind of stuff.
So the first thing I'm using here is our eyeliner brush, which comes inside of the mascara brush bundle. So it has your mascara brush, spoolie, but it also has this amazing little eyeliner brush that is really thin, so you're able to really gauge however you want your line. If you want it a little bit thinner, or if you want it a little bit thicker, you can definitely build it up as well.
Hey, Nat, from the producer off screen, can you drop your hand just a little bit so I can see that wing you're painting on?
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Molly.
And model Natalie, what lipstick are you wearing today?
Cherry red.
Cherry red. Ooh.
Love that. So I'm going in just with a little bit more product, and what I'm doing is literally just depositing my brush on top of her lashes to create a nice little tight line. And I'll hold my brush on the end so that you guys can actually see. There you go.
And you're just using little strokes instead of having to do like one big line all at once.
Yes, thank you, Amber. That's actually a great point. It's a lot easier to get a straight line if you work in tiny little brush strokes rather than trying to do just one easy stroke across. So I'll have her face you while I do the other eye.
And then you're doing just the line against the eye without having to bother with all of the wing just yet?
Exactly. I find it a lot easier to do with just the liner itself, and then we'll go into measuring before we do the full winged liner.
Gabriela, do you do winged liner often on yourself?
I do. I like to do wing liner, just not very long wings.
Sure.
You know, depending on what you feel is appropriate for you. I like shorter wings. That just kind of lifts your eye a little bit, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not that visible. Like you don't see just the wing out in the middle of your eyelid. But it does actually help. Especially if your eyes are a little droopy or you have, your hooded eyes, it helps to kind of lift the corners a little bit. So I like to do a tiny bit of a wing at least, instead of just tight lining the eye. Just a tiny wing actually adds a little bit of lift.
Oh, that's so cool. Sorry to interrupt you, Natalie. Where are you off to now in our little eyeliner journey?
So I'm actually just darkening the color, which is something I love about the Cake Mascara, is that you can choose to do it however you love. If you want to do something very dramatic, very intense black, you definitely build up the color. If you want something just very soft and, just everyday, you can just go ahead and do one coat of it as well.
Ooh. If you're hearing some sounds, we're a heavy working studio.
I know,
so
yeah. The studio has stuff going on in all the different stages, so if you hear anything, it's just other people shooting other things.
It's not ghosts.
No, it's not ghosts.
Busyness.
So now what we're going to do is actually measure the actual wing. Now there's so many different wings that you can do, whether you want something a little bit more at an angle or if you want something of a straight classic wing. So what we're going to do today is just the classic wing. I'm going to use the same brush. I'm going to measure from the last little eyelash to the end of her eyebrow to create that perfect angle so that it actually opens up and lifts the eye rather than creating more of a downward turned eye.
And even if you're just doing that by yourself in the mirror, you can just hold the brush up and see with your eyes open.
Exactly. It's actually a lot different when you're doing it on yourself. When you're doing it on yourself, it's actually best that you're looking directly into your mirror and that your eyes are open. So that way you create the line so that it actually makes the eye look more awake, rather than if we close the eye, pull the eye and do this, which I see a lot of times people doing, it will actually look different when you open the eye. So it's a lot easier to do with your eye open, looking directly into the mirror.
Oh, cool. I know I do that sometimes where I like pull on my skin and then realize, well, now it's just a crazy line.
Yeah. Whenever you do that, the line becomes, instead of being straight, as you might think, as the skin relaxes back down, your line is actually all jaggedy.
Oh, yes, exactly. Yeah, so you feel like you're making it straighter, you're making it worse. That's cool.
Exactly,
Keep
yes.
it relaxed.
So what we did there was really just create a separate line on top to create more of a wedge, and then we fill in the wedge. Tiny little strokes.
So yeah, so you're making that little triangle, your little step-by-step wing. That's cool.
Exactly. A whole lot easier. And of course, we made it a little bit more of a flare, but you can make a tiny little wedge wing as well if you're looking, still kind of getting your feet wet, let's say, with some wing liner. A lot of times we feel it might look overpowering if the wing is, all the way up to your brows. So just something a little bit lighter can be great as well.
And we have a question from Melinda. Do you think if we even just left it without the wing, is that kind of a nice look too? Or
Oh, absolutely. I love that as a great everyday liner as well. Just to apply just a little bit of a liner, just a tight line that opens up the eyes, but it also makes your lashes look a lot fuller when you have a tight line on the lashes.
That's cool. I've never thought about that. I'm just like, more eye stuff, please. That's kind of, that's why I'm not teaching this class.
Yeah.
I'm like, put stuff on your eyes because it's pretty. I'm glad that Natalie has more details. What kind of the liners do you wear the most? The purple or the purple or the brown or the black?
Usually the brown. I like the brown, and I like it because I can use it for brows with more water for a lighter color, and then I can layer it and make it darker for an eyeliner, so I can get a deeper brown for that. And it's great for daytime if you want a softer look than the black. It's really nice. And it's great because it does, even if you don't do wings, if you just do a line on the top of the eye, it does help a lot with your lashes. Your lashes will look a lot thicker after you apply mascara if you have some kind of a line up there.
So once I have my wings done, you can do it before or you can do it when you have your wings together. I'll take the same little brush, I'll place it right at the top of the bridge of the nose to make sure that those are even. Because that's one of those things that you want to make sure you look lopsided. So you want to make sure that your wings are even. So I hold my brush from one end of my wing to the other end of my wing to ensure that they are completely straight and even. Once that's done, this is when I can really either thicken the line, I can make the wings a lot longer if we want, or if you've made them way too long, then you can go ahead and take a little Q-tip and tone those down as well. Now, what I will say with winged liner, every day will be different, so don't freak out about that. Sometimes when I'm in a rush, they're up to my ears. Sometimes they're tiny, tiny little wedges, so it really depends on how much time you have and how much you're practicing as well, so don't worry, practice makes perfect.
Let's see. Oh, we have a cool question from Miranda. Oh, hello. Cool question from the door as well. Is eyeliner with a wing historically accurate for years before the 50s? She hasn't seen it much before the 50s.
No, they didn't actually do wing liner before that period, actually. So most of the liner before that was just on the top of the eye, but it didn't extend outside of that. Yeah. So any period, even 40s, 40s and 30s and 20s, your liner would have been just on the top of the eye, but not winged out. So the wing thing actually came in later by the 50s. So if you're doing period accurate things, don't do wings if you're doing earlier periods.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. All right, so once we have her wings on, we're going to go in and use the same Cake Mascara as mascara, of course. I'm going to use the spoolie that comes in the little kit. Now, keep in mind, when you purchase this, it does come straight, but I personally love to just bend it a tiny bit so that I can really get in there and build up her lashes. So I'm going to take a tiny bit of water, swipe it through the Cake Mascara, and then I'm going to push it up into her root of her lash. I'm going to have you look down for me. So again, I'm just taking it right into the base or the root of the lash, and I'm gonna wiggle it so that I can really get that color deposited.
And what does the wiggling do?
The wiggle actually helps to deposit the color so that you get all the way into the root. So you don't have that line. Sometimes we can see there's just a little bit of space, especially if you have really fair lashes. There's a space between your liner and your lashes, which will actually make your lashes look a lot shorter.
That is another thing I know from personal experience. Oh, my blonde lashes in that line.
Yeah. Yes.
I know everybody really wanted my personal experience on lashes, so you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, it does work better too to wiggle it to avoid clumping too.
Yes.
Oh,
It does avoid the clumping of the mascara if you wiggle it through, so that it dries as it goes and it doesn't clump
Oh, that's
on your lash. So
And it's completely buildable, which I absolutely love, because you can also apply it on top of false lashes, and it doesn't give you that plastic look. It just gives you a really classic finish.
You can even put it on lash extensions, which is cool
Yes.
because lash extensions usually can't wear mascara, but since there is not the same kind of base on our mascara, you can use it safely and it
Yes.
will not fall out.
yes, yes. Yeah, usually any kind of oil-based products are difficult when you have any kind of lash that has glue in it,
Yeah.
because the oils will soften the glue.
Yeah.
So this mascara does not, so you can easily use it for any of those purposes, yeah.
And if you want to hear more stuff from Gabriela, which I'm sure you do, why would you not want to? She also answers questions like this and listener questions like Miranda's period question as well on the Classic Beauty with Bésame podcast. Just to get that in, Gabriela interviews makeup artists and celebrities, and she also just answers questions, which is a new
Yes.
feature, so you can hear even more of her loveliness anytime
Thank
you
you.
wish.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, any questions, please send them along and I'll be glad to answer them.
And then J Johnson 4441 has a very important comment just saying, this is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Where's everybody watching from? I'm interested to know.
Yes, please comment where you're watching from. We'd be fascinated to hear. It's sometimes shocking. We get so
Yes.
many comments from all over the world.
Awesome.
all
Yeah,
the time.
and no question is a bad question, really. I
Oh,
mean,
no.
we definitely don't judge. So any question that you want to ask is always a good question, because as women, people assume that we know all about makeup, but a lot of women don't wear that much makeup or don't have that much experience with it. And so we don't know all these little tricks and things. So it's nice to be able to ask. And you know, not have to feel like you're somehow less because you don't know these things.
Yeah, we have Arizona, Los Angeles, Ohio. We also had MLC earlier wrote a question in French, and mon français est très mal.
Oh no!
Bonjour. Salt Lake City, Santa Monica, France. We got it all.
So we just darkened it up a tiny bit. You can see how really jet black that you can get that mascara as well. And of course we can make her lashes even more intense if we like. Totally depends on what you really like to do with your makeup as well.
Hey, Natalie and or Amber, do we have a little special offer for anyone tuning into this tutorial right now that we could talk about?
Why, yes, we do. Of
course we
Molly.
do.
Why, yes, we do. Yes, we have a little special. Thank you so much for watching our tutorial. We can still, if we have, they'll have one more question I'll answer in just a second. But thank you so much for watching. And since you've watched, you get to have a special discount if you use the code TuesdayLive. I'm also going to put it in this comment box section here, but it's Tuesday with a capital T, live with a capital L, all one word. You get 50% off those mascara brushes, the eyeliner brush and the mascara. It means they're only $7.50 for both brushes, so that is pretty cool. And we had a quick question of, does anachronistic makeup do anachronistic makeup looks bother y'all? As in 20 shaped lips with 60s wing. What do you think?
I guess it bothers, I guess, the purist in me that would want, especially if it's a period film, or something that you would think had research behind it, that you would think, okay, they're trying to portray this period accurately, and there's a lot of inconsistencies in that, and sometimes that does bother me if the inconsistencies are really out there for a period. But you have to take it with a grain of salt, because you don't know the intention of the director, the intention of that particular film, if it was supposed to be kind of an homage to the period but not really that accurate. So there's a lot of circumstances, but I can say that I do notice it when that happens. And sometimes it works and sometimes it's just really odd, but yes, but I do notice it in other films, yes.
But personal makeup, it kind of seems like, do whatever you want to do.
Personal makeup, I mean, it's really up to you. Sometimes, I like to do like larger wings and I'm still wearing like a 30s dress. So it really is depending on how you feel, I like to do even a tiny wing because it does lift up the eye, especially as you get older. So it's not necessarily accurate to a 30s or 40s dress, but I do it anyways because I think I like it better on my eyes. So I don't mind kind of mixing and matching that kind of thing in your own personal wardrobe.
Cool. And if you have any, we have a couple other, another historical question, but I think maybe running a long time, but any questions we ever have we don't get to, we will get to in either the podcast or next week's tutorial. So please do that. We have one last question we get. Are Bésame ingredients natural? From Miranda.
Yes, all the ingredients, I mean, all our products are made here in the US, so all the ingredients are sourced locally, so everything that we use, we test for a very long time to make sure that it's safe for your eyes, that it doesn't cause any allergies, that it doesn't have any ingredients that would be detrimental to your health. So everything is thoroughly researched and tested, so you can feel safe that we've been producing this product for many years. So we're sure that it works well and it's very safe on your eyes.
And it's all cruelty-free and gluten-free and paraben-free and all those fun
Exactly, all of that, yes.
Cool.
All right. More?
I think that's it for questions for now.
That's it, awesome.
Thank you so much, Natalie.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for joining us. Please join us next Tuesday as well. So every time we'll have just little short snippets. If there's this particular thing that you guys want to cover, please let us know in the comments as well. But today was all about winged liner. And again, feel free to comment. Don't forget that code will be in the comment section as well.
Yep, and it's Tuesday Live.
Perfect.
50% off the brush set.
Perfect. And then with that, I want to say thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you next Tuesday.
Yay, goodbye.
Bye.